Sandrone Gyotang is the seventh of the Dewy Harbingers, the one who solved the world formula and risked her life to do so, bringing the frost moon down through the false sky in the process. In all senses of the word, she is a genius. But despite this, have you ever asked yourself if she was lactose intolerant? Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds absolutely preposterous. After all, she was created by the great genius Alain. There's no way he would have created her with such a dysfunction. She's also never shown distaste for milk or cheese, so the question alone holds no weight. But what if I told you the truth had been in our faces this entire time? Lurking under our noses, making us think the marionette dined in fine cheese delights while facing no repercussions. You're probably asking yourself what that thing is, but don't worry, I have the answer. And that answer is Columbina. Now, I know how this sounds. How could Columbina Hyposelenia, the moon goddess, be the key to Sandrone's lactose intolerance? Well, think about how I addressed her for a moment. Nothing standing out to you? No raised hands from the classroom? Okay, well, I get it. It's not something you would really consider or even think about, but, it's something it's been well in our faces this entire time. Her name, Columbina Hyposelenia, the moon goddess. The moon. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Now, as kids, there's this precarious superstition that the moon is made of cheese. Naturally, as you grow older, you let go of such a childish fantasy. Our moon is clearly not made of cheese. Yet I find it hard not to humor the idea, and you would be surprised to find that there is more evidence than you would think to support this. The cheese theory, if you will. The moon is made of cheese. Okay, how can we prove that? Our first piece of evidence would be the holes on the moon, which we call craters. Comparing this to an average piece of Swiss cheese shows us that this is more than just a coincidence. Swiss cheese is something made in the moon's image. Not convinced? Well, in the 1989 film Wallace and Gromit: A Grand Day Out, the duo, Wallace and Gromit, use a rocket ship to go to the moon. This is because Wallace is a cheese demon whose hunger can only be satiated by the delicacy. Wallace thinks big, and looks towards the moon because he knows what everyone else refuses to believe. So being the genius that he is, Wallace and Gromit, they make it to the moon, despite forgetting the crackers. Everyone watching, they had their teeth clenched as Wallace took a supposed moon rock and consumed it. I can only begin to wonder what people felt when he revealed that he indeed had consumed a block of cheese. It's a cartoon, a silly one. Surely it holds no weight, but that is where you are wrong. This was trying to tell us something. The British were trying to tell us, the world, that the moon was made of cheese, or at least they were trying to share their culture with us this way. Maybe they believe the moon is made of cheese and they need to tell somebody on my touch-tone telephone. Everyone knows Wallace and Gromit is the state religion of the United Kingdom. The way this ties into Genshin Impact is, as we all know, Genshin likes to take concepts and ideas found in many real-life cultures of the world. Actually, it's not just Genshin, by extension, pretty much every Hoyoverse game that you could think of. Now, am I saying that the Frost Moon and by extension Columbina is British? Well, not exactly. What we can assume is that Genshin Impact at least took this cheese aspect out of Wallace and Gromit, a very important piece of British culture. This is why we can theorize that the Frost Moon is made of cheese, or some kind of fantastical Genshin cheese. I don't really know. Whatever it is, it definitely still contains some form of lactose. And as far as I know, we cannot conclusively prove that the Frost Moon is made of cheese, as there is no Wallace and Gromit counterpart on that. Though we, the Traveler, have gone to the Frost Moon by now, we have never really conducted some kind of search to see whether or not the moon is made of cheese. It's probably just not in Hoyoverse's main interest at the time. No one's really ever asked the question. I'm surprised Paimon has not brought up the question, but, it's either between her and Columbina who would be most likely a candidate, but neither has expressed desires to eat the moon. Columbina has not expressed desire to eat her own home, but I reckon it's only a matter of time. Now that I've explained how the frost moon is most likely something made of a cheese or a cheese counterpart, how does this relate to Columbina? It's pretty simple, really. She's the moon goddess, and has authority over said moon and inherits its power. This doesn't mean that she is necessarily made of cheese, though we really couldn't say, but rather her power alone is enough to exude an aura of lactose. Like a cheese, milk, lactose, it's pheromone. Pheromones, she has pheromones, that's what I'm saying. Now Alain gave Sandrone pretty much every module to appear human. She has all the senses a person can need, so it's not impossible that she could smell the cheese aura on Columbina. The pheromones. Okay. While Columbina probably keeps a healthy hygiene, we cannot say for sure whether or not the smell of the moon does or doesn't come out of times. What we can prove is Sandrone's attitude towards the moon goddess. Sandrone keeps people at a distance, and that also includes Columbina. However, Columbina more than often gets certain special exceptions from the marionette most could only dream of. My hypothesis is that Sandrone loves cheese but knows that she can't eat it. It results in her keeping Columbina at a distance despite her true feelings towards her and her cheese. Because if she let her desires overcome her, she might have problems. We've seen it many times. Sandrone would get flustered by Columbina's antics, but inevitably lets her do as she pleases because, again, the attraction of cheese is just too much for her, despite it all. She doesn't show her true feelings because it wouldn't be healthy for her intolerance to lactose. Sandrone could probably cure herself of this lactose intolerance if she just gave into her true feelings toward the moon goddess, though Alain probably gave her this unfortunate module to make her feel more human. Because, people have this, Maybe it would be best to let go of it if it means being in the presence of Columbina more. Maybe then she could finally express herself a bit more naturally. Maybe there would be other cures which wouldn't require removing the module entirely if Sandrone for some reason wouldn't want to do that. The answers are really up in the air in how she could be planning to overcome this. So, while we may not have the best evidence to support the likelihood of Sandrone's lactose intolerance, we do have reasons to believe so, even if they are very loose. Educated guesses, if you will. Think about it the next time you're bringing Sandrone on a trip to the Frost Moon.